For the best price, click the link in the description. But are you tired of mediocre soundbars that just can't seem to deliver on their promise? Therefore, today I'm putting the Razer Leviathan V2 X under the microscope to see if it's truly worth the hype. The Razer Leviathan V2 X is a sleek and compact soundbar that promises to bring immersive audio to your living room. With its 5.1.2 channel configuration and built-in subwoofer, this soundbar seems like a powerhouse of sound. But here's what surprised me. According to the manufacturer, the Razer Leviathan V2 X features Dolby Atmos and DTS, object-based surround sound, which means it can create an immersive audio experience with pinpoint accuracy. Sounds impressive, right? However, I dug deeper and found out that this feature is only available on select devices, such as smart TVs and gaming consoles. Therefore, if you're planning to use the Razer Leviathan V2 X with a non-supported device, you'll be stuck with inferior surround sound. But what about the overall performance of the soundbar? Let's take a closer look. Rehook. I'm not here to just give you a surface-level review. I want to dive deep into the details and tell you what really matters when it comes to this product. What if I told you that the Razer Leviathan V2 X has some serious limitations in terms of its audio range? Therefore, before you shell out your hard-earned cash, let's examine the audio capabilities of this soundbar. The Razer Leviathan V2 X boasts a frequency response range of 40 Hz to 60 kHz. However, upon further examination, I found that it lacks support for sub-30 Hz frequencies, which means it might not be able to produce the deepest bass notes. But wait, there's more. According to reviews from various sources, including CNET and Artings, the Razer Leviathan V2 X has some serious issues with dialogue clarity. Therefore, if you're looking for a soundbar that can deliver crisp and clear dialogue, this might not be the best choice. Now that we've taken a closer look at the limitations of the Razer Leviathan V2 X, let's talk about its features and design. The soundbar itself is quite sleek and compact, with a height-adjustable design that makes it easy to place under most TVs. But what really caught my attention was the lack of HDMI ports on this device. Therefore, if you're planning to connect multiple devices to your TV using HDMI cables, you'll need to invest in an external HDMI switcher or hub. Not exactly the most convenient solution, if you ask me. Let's get back to the features and design of the Razer Leviathan V2 X Rehook. As I mentioned earlier, the soundbar boasts a 5.1.2 channel configuration with built-in subwoofer. But what about wireless connectivity options? According to the manufacturer, the Razer Leviathan V2 X supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. However, some users have reported issues with dropped connections and poor audio quality. Therefore, if you're planning to stream music or movies wirelessly using this soundbar, be prepared for some potential technical hiccups. But wait, there's more. One thing that stood out to me was the lack of a dedicated app for controlling the soundbar. Instead, users are forced to rely on the TV's built-in remote control or mobile apps like Razer's own Chroma app. Not exactly the most seamless experience, if you ask me. Now that we've examined the features and design of the Razer Leviathan V2 X, let's talk about its price. The soundbar is currently available for around $400 on Amazon. But considering all the limitations and issues I've mentioned so far, is it really worth the investment? Rehook, before you make a decision, let me ask you this. Are you willing to compromise on audio quality and features for a sleek design? Therefore, if you're looking for a soundbar that can deliver on its promises, you might want to consider other options. However, if you're willing to overlook some of the limitations mentioned above, the Razer Leviathan V2 X does have some redeeming qualities. For example, it's relatively easy to set up and use, even for those without extensive tech knowledge. Therefore, if you're a casual user who just wants something that works, this might be a decent choice. In conclusion, after taking an in-depth look at the Razer Leviathan V2 X, I have to say that it's not as impressive as I initially thought. While it has some great features and design elements, its limitations in terms of audio range, dialogue clarity, and wireless connectivity options make it a less than ideal choice for audiophiles. Therefore, before you shell out your hard-earned cash, I highly recommend considering other soundbars on the market that offer better performance and value. For the best price, click the link in the description to check out some of our top recommendations.